feel so hard, and a lion slowly forming like a boulder in my heart. So if you wanna fucking friend me, better give me all you got. No, I don't take this lightly, cause it's heavy, heavy friendly.
There is an eagle flying. Yeah!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Heavy Friending. My name? Well,
Laura
it's
Lee
Joe.
Bishop. And my name is Joe Barlow.
My name is.
My name is Joe Barlow.
This is confusing for people.
How?
Well, they're like, wait, who's who?
Well, hopefully whoever is listening has heard the other episodes and they're not just starting over here in like whatever episode this is, 30 something.
Yeah.
You know?
Or is it, you know how Quentin Tarantino,
yes.
he'll like squiggle up his little scripties and you're like, wait, that already happened? It's out of order?
Yeah,
or like Westworld, you know?
I'm not caught up on that.
Dude, Westworld.
How about a Memento reference?
I don't know that, but
Okay.
But the point is, you know, maybe it's a different kind of storytelling if they do listen out of order.
That's true. I would personally, I would prefer they go to the beginning because I want them to hear how we began.
Yeah.
I want them to hear just back when we were two unsure people that felt totally adrift.
You're
and
getting
disconnected.
wistful.
And now we're connected to each other, tethering each other to this life and just giving each other all the energy and life force and everything you need to just be a whole human being.
Wow.
That's what you're missing out on if you don't start from the beginning. Okay.
Wow. No one is listening to this episode anymore.
I can't take you seriously.
You
with your
just took a
glasses like
monologue.
that.
I'm sorry. Do you have a problem?
Well, you look stupid. Fix them.
Well, it hurts
Does it
my
hurt?
ears
Yeah,
sometimes.
mine's starting to hurt too.
So
Sometimes when the headphones smash,
you got
glasses.
headphones smashing in, so I put my glasses above my ears.
Above your ears. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what these were.
We're tired. Then that's okay.
We're tired.
Because
I'm almost 30.
Life is dragging us
I turned
around.
30 this month.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know what month this podcast comes out, but
Comes out in this month, right?
will it? I don't know. The month is, who knows what date it is.
It's true.
But
Well,
the
you're
point
turning
is, I
30
might
soon.
be 30 when this comes out.
Oh, wow. So how does that make you feel?
Well, tired.
I'm already 30, so I've been tired for a whole fucking year almost.
Well, I'm just excited to see how flirty I get.
Ooh, 30 flirty?
30 and flirty and
Yeah.
loving it.
Yeah. Loving every minute of it.
I feel pressure to have fun on my 30th because mostly because people are like, what are you doing for your 30th?
Well, what are
and I'm
you
like,
doing?
I don't know. I don't
How about
care.
you and me? You and me.
Yeah?
Bottle of champagne.
Whoa. And?
Some sexy music. No, that sounds like a nightmare to me too. No, but we should go out.
Yeah, you would be invited. I think
Yeah.
I might have a party.
I think you should.
But yeah,
Like
again,
a party out and about or at your house.
not at my house.
Okay, because I don't want to be with your friends in a confined space like that.
Well, I think it would either be too many people or too
Just us.
few.
Yeah.
So I'd rather go out, and then at least if your group's small, you're like,
Whatever.
you know, you're
Yeah.
like, hey, it's my
Check out
birthday. You
the
want to make out to
hotties
a
at the
stranger?
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But did 30 affect you?
Yes. Well, every birthday is a terribly painful day for me. I cry and I carry on. I've done it ever since I was a little kid.
Really?
Never wanted to get older. But that birthday was good because my mom and sister and John, they had a unicorn party for me, and they had a unicorn cake, and they had unicorn decorations and stuff, and we made it like a really fun.
No, I said 30th birthday.
Yeah, it was 30th. Yeah,
Hold on.
It was good.
I said 30th.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Not
it was
third.
great.
Your hair right now is a little unicornish.
Is it?
Well, it's like, no, the front. Why are you touching the back of your
I don't know.
There's like a poof
I thought you
up
meant
here.
like the colors.
But
or
it's like a
something.
fat poof. It's not like pointy.
Fat poof. Check out the fat poof on that girl. We should do that at your birthday.
What? Check out fat
Check out the
poofs?
fat poofs.
Okay. We'll add it to the list.
Cool.
It may not be set in stone, but we'll put it on the idea board.
Yeah. So lately on the podcast, we've been doing a lot of activities,
A lot of scary
challenges
things. Yeah.
and
Frightening challenges, frightening movies, psychic readings.
A lot of things like that. So I think today we should just get back to our roots, catch
Butts.
up. Well, of course, we got to talk a little bit about buttholes. And we're not
Actually,
leave
you
that out.
have a hole you want to talk about?
I do have a hole I want to talk about. That's true. Perfect segue. I'm pretty sure I have a UTI.
What?
And that's terrible.
Now that stands for urinary tract infection.
Yes.
And so
It does.
do we all have a urinary tract?
We all have one.
Whoa. Now
The
that's-
urethra is where the pee comes out of, and all along there, that's part of the urinary tract. And then, you have your bladder and all that kind of stuff.
So is the bladder a part of the tract?
I think that you can get an infection in there. That's
Okay.
why they say a bladder infection, and that can cause issues. There's just an infection somewhere along the line of your tract there.
Yeah.
And
This is
it
very
a
common
bitch.
for women.
And
Yeah.
this is a medical terminology. It's a bitch because when you pee, it hurts, and then you feel like you have to pee all the time. So you sit on the toilet and you just pray for one little drop, and that one little drop is like heaven when you get it, because it just feels like you really got to go.
Yeah.
Even though you don't, it's just like a trick because there's spasms happening in there from the infection.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I have one because last night I went to see a concert and I got all the way downtown, which it's like a whole big fucking hassle. You get in the car,
Yeah, you
and
live
you go
far
down
away.
there.
You live like in the suburbs.
Sure. And you go down there and you park, and then I got out of the car and I was like, okay, I'm going to vomit. I'm sick. So
Yeah.
we had to get back into the car, drive all the way up here. And I thought I was going to vomit, but then I ate pizza and I was fine. And I was like, that's weird. Like who that with a stomach bug can eat pizza? But then today when I peed, it hurt. And I was like, oh, I know it's all connected, and it always is connected, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I've got a UTI and I'm pissed about that. I don't get them
it.
very often.
No, you made a joke.
Yeah, I did. I made a great joke.
Okay.
Totally on purpose.
I like it. I've had not that, I don't think, but I've had kidney stones.
Yeah, and I hear those are a bitch too.
Multiple. Yeah, I'm really bad about drinking water.
And you got to pass them.
You got to pass them. Well, I forget what the number is. I think it's like, I want to say like 7 millimeters is the size. And if it's 7 millimeters or bigger, they have to break it up for you to pass it.
Yeah.
So they do that, whatever.
Did you have to break yours up?
Well, I've had multiple ones, but one I had was 6 millimeters. So it's like as big as it could be without them breaking it
It
up.
came out of your pee hole.
Yeah, it kind of was like this. Right out the tip. And you also
But wait.
you have to pee into a funnel so that you catch it, and then when you catch it, you bring it to the doctor, and then they test it, and then they can say, "Oh, this is because you eat too much spinach."
Okay, there's a lot of things to unpack here, Joe.
Okay. What?
Okay, so you passed the stone.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with that.
One time I had to have one broken up because I did have the
Okay.
I think they shoot like sound waves into your back
I
or
thought you were going to say
something.
they shoot darts at your belly. And they just pummel you with darts until they break.
No,
Okay.
no. I forget because I think they knocked me out for that, and then they do this procedure. But I think it's sound waves they shoot into your body. It breaks it up, and then you
Okay.
pee out the little pieces.
Okay, so tell me about the pain of peeing out a stone.
The reason it's painful is because it doesn't come out. So peeing it out actually felt really satisfying because you're like,
But you could see it when it came out.
you could see it because
Okay.
you also have a funnel with the little
Describe-
netting at the bottom. You pee into that, you catch it. So
Can you describe to me what it looks like? Like, what color is it? Gray?
It's a grayish brownish probably.
Oh, God.
And it's sort of like it looks like, like a little piece of coral reef or something.
Oh, my God. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you peed it out.
Peed it out. Yep, multiple. And yeah.
And it didn't hurt when it came out of your urethra.
No, it hurts, but it's also satisfying.
Because you know it's coming out.
Yeah, because you're like, thank God.
Yeah.
Well, because usually I had to go to the hospital for, I think, a couple of them because the pain is so intense. And the first time it would happen, you're like, oh my
What's
God,
happening?
I'm dying.
Yeah.
And then the second time you're like, oh, I should have drank more water.
I'm kind of thinking that now. I'm like, oh, why don't I just drink more water? Because I think part of it is the last like couple weeks I was traveling and I was busy and I just didn't drink enough water. And I think that's part of it. But anyway, our bodies, we're going through it and we're here to tell the tale.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful.
Okay. I feel like you're just saying things.
Yeah, I think I am. Here's what we're going to do. Let's take a little break.
Okay, good. Because my urinary tract, I feel like someone talks about their urinary tract and you're like, oh, how's my tract feeling?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we'll both go and you'll pee. I'll see if I can squeeze a couple drops out.
Well, will you tell me what you think of the color of mine?
If that's what you want. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'd
like a friendship test.
Definitely. We'll talk about the color, smell. Don't want to get into taste, but
if you
ask me, I won't refuse. All right, so we'll be right back after this break.
We interrupt this break to say, hey, thanks for listening, and please subscribe to this podcast. We'd love to be in your box every morning.
Yeah.
Or every Monday morning.
Love to be in those holes, in those ear holes.
Yeah.
Telling you things.
We want to be there with you on the commute to work or your workout. We want to be there cheering you on. And if you're working out right now,
go.
Yeah.
Do it. Burn those calories. You're hot. Yeah. Is that what you listen to?
Clink, 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 clink.
Yeah.
Well, you need like the right soundtrack.
Yeah. I was thinking more like dun dun dun.
Ew, we can't afford that. We can afford this.
Clink, 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 clink,
clink, clink, clink, clink, clink, clink.
Oh man, that would get me pumped for sure.
Oh, you would be. I bet whoever's working out is probably real strong now.
Instantly strong, and you're welcome.
And that's the value this podcast
yes.
has. And speaking of value, we need your money.
We do, and desperately. Really.
Yeah, because I'm going to reveal some stuff about my personal life later in the show, and then you're going to go, oh, Joe could really use something.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But it's really easy to contribute, and we're so grateful if you do. You just go to patreon.com/heavyfriending.
All correct.
And you can find information about how you can choose the amount you'd like to contribute.
Any amount.
You want to do $1 a month? Well, you can do that.
Yeah.
You want to do $10? You can do that. Can they do 50?
You can do 50.
Whoa. Okay. So you can do a lot of different numbers.
A lot of different numbers. For the cost of a pack of fucking bubble gum, you can help two people who've become friends with you through listening to these podcasts. You can help your friends for the cost of a pack of bubble gum.
Yeah, and we're doing our part in this friendship. But what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing besides walking around chewing bubble gum all day? Expensive bubble gum.
Did you hear the song I did earlier? Because you're buff now, and that's because of me.
That's true.
Clong, clong, clang, clong, clong.
Yeah, so good.
So that's worth probably $50 a month.
Oh, yeah. Just that song alone. And now we're talking about that song. Now we're talking about all the episodes, all this great content.
I gave you that song for free. I could have released it to the Billboard music charts, okay?
Yeah,
but I didn't because we're friends.
It's very generous. And
that'd be number one.
Oh, yeah.
Pop music nowadays, it's easy.
Yeah. Panda. I mean, can you believe that was a song?
I actually can.
God. Funny times we're in.
Funny times. But yeah, definitely make sure you subscribe and visit patreon.com/heavyfriending.
Heavyfriending. I almost said it at the same time, but then I stuttered at the end.
It would have been better if you just said it with me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the time has passed. Maybe next time. Coming right back from break, and we're back from break.
Whoa. I love the way you phrased that. Yeah. Man, when you get a little pee out of you, or actually, did you get a little pee out of you?
Not really. Just a tiny little bit, and enough that when I wiped, there was a tiny spot of moisture on the...
Oh, so you have to wipe every time?
What?
What?
When women pee, they have to wipe.
They do?
Are you serious right now? Or are you just being funny for the podcast?
I knew they kind of wiped. I didn't know you had to every time.
Yes, Joe. When we pee, we have to wipe.
Well, what happens if you don't?
You'll have piss all in your panties.
Well, guys, we just let it...
It doesn't do like that on a vagina, okay? It gets on different places. It doesn't just spurt out
So
like
it's more
yours.
like a fountain. Well, I mean,
No, it's less like a fountain.
some people,
It's more like a.
I've heard some that sound like a stream sometimes.
Well, it is a stream, but it doesn't. It's in there kind of. So like it gets on like the inner labia and other surrounding areas. It's just different than what you have.
This sounds fascinating.
I've invited you into the bathroom with me numerous times for this very reason.
You know
So
what I
it's
gotta
educational.
say? I've never been in the bathroom when a woman's peeing, or
Even when you dated?
seen it. What? No.
When you dated someone, you were never in the bathroom when they peed.
I don't think so. No.
That's very interesting.
I'm very weird about quite a few things, but
Well, we know.
if I have to, if I have to poop
Cool.
before I go take a
Poop.
I will turn on like music so they don't
mask
have
it?
to hear.
Is it for them
Just-
or for you, though, Joe?
It's for all of us.
Okay.
All parties.
Okay.
And yeah, so I don't even like people to, hear it through a wall.
Okay, but what about the level we're on? Do you think that you'd be embarrassed to go in there and poop right now?
Absolutely.
Really? With me? Why?
Absolutely.
I would sit on the other end of that door and just chit chat away with you, man. It wouldn't mean anything to me. You could leave it open for all I fucking care.
I think
and peek
that's-
around the corner.
I think that's weird. But
I just no.
yeah, I
Come
don't
on.
think I'd want you to hear.
John and I are pretty secretive about our poops, I think.
and what do you mean by that?
Well, see, I like to talk about pooping a lot,
Yes, you do.
and John doesn't. He doesn't like to talk about pooping at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of keep it to myself because I know he doesn't like it. And I guess because he doesn't like it, he doesn't really talk to me about it either. So
Oh.
now I know he must poop because he's alive. And
Yeah.
so I'm assuming he poops throughout the course of the day at some point.
But he doesn't like talking about it or sharing it.
Yeah, he's not
'Cause
like,
I'm okay
"Oh, I
talking
gotta take a
about
shit,"
it.
or, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm about to like shit my pants or anything. And it's never,
Yeah.
he
Oh,
doesn't
see, I
say
would
that.
do that, but I would
yeah.
I would make it very obvious I'm going to poop because I'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna turn this music on," and like we all know. But I'm okay talking about it, but I don't want.
We
them
don't
to-
toot in front of each other either.
And you say toot,
What do you want me to say? Fart?
spleef.
We don't toot in front of each other, although sometimes in the night.
Do you say toot though?
I just said it now.
I thought
so
like third graders said that.
I guess I say toot. I don't know what I say. What are you supposed to say?
Fart is the
Fart?
what I
hate
say.
that's a bad word though. It's gross.
Why are you getting giggly about it?
Sounds so gross. But anyway, we don't fart in front of each other. But sometimes at night, John will do silent but deadly, like, but it'll be like this. And I never tell him. I hope he listens to this episode.
And then
John, sometimes you toot in your sleep, so you're not perfect,
Oh,
okay?
he's going to be mortified. Wait, so you're
No, I toot in my sleep, but it's audible and it wakes me up.
okay?
It scares me
That's
sometimes.
all I need. But I want to go back to John's.
Okay.
So you hear the little
And then
and
about
then you
5
breathe
seconds
through your
later,
nose. You're like, I want to see what's
about 5 seconds
what
later,
we're dealing
it,
with.
no, I don't try to smell it, but it's really strong.
But isn't it under a blanket? Is he not?
Reaches me within 5 seconds, okay? Like clockwork.
If I was in your shoes,
And you know what I think sometimes?
What?
I think, I hope he doesn't wake up and think I did that because he doesn't know he did it.
if I was in your shoes,
Mm-hmm.
I would hear, and then
You'd
I
run
would,
away?
No, I would really try and cover it up, get all the gaps in
He's
the blanket.
fully under the covers. It is permeating through the fabric. I'm telling you.
What kind of fabric?
I don't know,
What's your
sheets
what kind of thread
and
count?
a blanket.
I think
and-
you need a higher thread count because what you're dealing with.
Oh,
That
we were
shouldn't
supposed to talk
happen.
about our life, so now I'm airing out John's dirty laundry.
Aaron.
Yeah,
And dirty.
dirty.
Yeah.
and laundry.
And
Does that
laundry.
work?
You should
Okay.
launder those sheets.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's the thing. It like reawakens old
smells.
sizzlers.
We are getting back to our roots. I love this.
Oh, this is
So
this
good.
is what this show is built on.
Yeah.
And it's what this country was built on.
Really,
And
yeah.
God bless the USA.
Tell me about what's going on in your life, because something's obviously going on.
There is something wrong.
There's a lot of things.
Well, what do you want to know about? I mean, you already know.
I know, but
Just
let's do it like I don't.
okay.
Let's do it like I don't. That
Okay.
could be something.
I think that could be.
Okay.
All right. Laura, I have something to tell you.
What?
And I don't know how to tell you this.
Okay. Well, let's use the podcast to help you.
Okay. This is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Because you don't already know this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I had some major life-changing news happen.
Okay.
And you know this, so it's weird to tell you. But the listeners don't, so I'll keep this going.
But the fact that I do know,
yeah,
it speaks volumes.
Maybe it means we're closer.
How soon after you found out did you tell me?
I don't know. That was a while ago.
Yeah, and I think it was on the very day.
I might have told you on the very day.
And I think you might have told me not long after you found out.
That's true. Okay, yeah,
So
I think that's correct.
That means something.
So anyway, I found out that I will not continue my current job, my current employment, my current health benefits will be gone soon.
Yeah.
And, I had a lot of emotions about that. Mm-hmm. Some happy.
Yeah.
Some sad.
Mostly
some
probably.
Angry.
Yeah.
Some confused. Some aroused. Some... That's about
disgusted?
It. Some disgusted. Oh, yeah. And some ashamed. Mm-hmm. And some...
Shocked.
And then at the same time, not shocked. Mm-hmm. Because, there's just been a lot of things that happen at work.
Well, guess what? Now we don't have to worry about those fuckers anymore, do we?
We don't.
Always like, is the news going to get mad? I always call it the news. Is the news going to get mad? Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Here's a news flash to the news.
Okay.
Fuck you guys. Can I say that though?
I don't know. Maybe when this releases, it'll be okay.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, well, that's the weird thing. So
I don't think they listen.
So kind of, yeah. Well, and maybe they
probably
do,
and that's why you got let go.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let go. I don't even know how to phrase it because kind of what happened was I signed a 3-year contract, and I'm going to do all 3 years of my contract.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do any additional years.
It's sweet the rationalization
after that.
And,
well, I think it's true
to get you through the night. And
I think
that's
it's true.
Good.
I mean, well, the funny thing is, so I had conversations with my boss, a couple months ago, and he said, "Oh, we're going to renew your contract," and so that was weird. But the other thing was, it came up in that little conversation we had where we're like, I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to do like another 3 years in the same position because I want to grow. I want to do new things. I want to expand, my knowledge and my skills. And I was like, so yeah, I don't know if I'd want to sign a full 3 years. Yeah. And so it was kind of funny that was like the conversation we had where I was like, I'm open to signing again, but I'm not. But then it is different when they tell you, okay, we're not re-signing.
Stings.
And they sort of take your power away. Because I would have loved to have been like,
I quit.
You know what? I thought about it and I'm not, wanting to continue here.
Yeah.
But then they said it and then you're like, well, wait, I was kind of saying that. Like I was kind of breaking up with you and then you said we're through. And I'm like, baby, no.
Yeah.
Give me one more chance.
Exactly.
But then you also know it's a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And
it is.
she cheated on you.
And let me tell you something right now.
Yeah.
You're better for leaving.
This is it.
And it's their fucking loss. I'm not just saying that either. You were the funniest thing on that fucking news program.
It's not
and
a news
the only time I watched it was to see you and me mostly. But when you were on it, you brought lightness, you brought youth, you brought zest, you brought humor, and they're doomed without you. And you know what? I'll tell you something right now. I'm boycotting the fucking thing. I never am going to see it again.
You saw it once.
They can all go to hell.
You did see it once. So.
Well, I saw it like 3 times. One time you interviewed me. Another time we were on it together. And the third time I think I just accidentally landed on it.
Well,
when I was flipping through the channels,
one time you said that, or maybe I told you the wrong day. So you watched the whole
that was another one. That one made me mad.
You watched the whole episode that you were not in. And then you were
that's when
mad.
I realized, can I speak my true mind on this show?
Love to
Am I
hear
allowed to?
Well,
are you going to get in trouble?
You're certainly allowed to because I won't.
Let me say this. That's when I realized the show was garbage. Okay. I always see your segments on social media and they're always hilarious. Like I'll be laying in bed and I'll be like, oh my God, John, you have to watch this. And we'll be laughing. You're very funny, Joe. Your segments are great. I'd never seen the other shit on there. Now that is some shitty shit on there. Okay. It's bad. When you made me watch it that time on accident, they were on there gluing feathers to fucking hats and shit. That's the level of shit that was going on there. So it's their loss and your gain.
Well, and this is really, I think, the main reason why we didn't connect because
no offense to the show. I'd love to promote my music there in the future. Thank you.
Well, they don't really like music on the show. I mean, that's the thing. Like I was over here and the rest of the show was over here. And I think the audience who likes that show was perfectly happy with the feathers and the gluing and
no
and
one
all
wants
that.
to watch that. I can't
mean,
imagine unless you're a kindergartner.
People. So and that was the thing. It was like, for a while I was like, well, I'll just be a little bit different, but you don't want the same show for an hour. But I think the bosses at work want the same show for an hour.
But this is what it is. This is a great analogy. Mm-hmm. These record labels, they give us shit music all the time. Like just shit music, panda, all this shit. Yeah. And you just listen to it because it's fucking there. And then you hear it enough times where you're like, okay, I guess I like this now. I don't know. I hated it. Now I like it. I'm very confused. But then like Adele comes out and everyone goes fucking crazy over Adele.
Yeah.
She's good. I think she's great. But you know why people went as fucking crazy as they did over her? Because they were sick of all this other shit that they were hearing.
You're saying...
So the people...
I'm Adele?
Yes. In this scenario, you are Adele. They don't know how bad it is until they get a taste of Joe.
Well,
okay.
I'm an Adele.
And now so they're just giving them garbage and that's all they have to see. So they're just going along with it. But if you ran that show, it would be 10 times better.
Well, and it is interesting because I will say I learned a lot doing that show because it is so not what I would do. Mm-hmm. If I would have my own show, that's definitely not like the show I would do. But yeah, there were just clearly disagreements. I still think
we need to do something on cable access.
Well,
let's do it.
I'm going to have maybe some free time. So
I think we should do it.
Can I live here?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a spare? You do?
A guest room, yeah. Got a guest room and garage. I mean, completely.
Well, why would I want to be in the garage?
Well, I maybe want you in the garage is what I'm saying.
Why?
Because I can lock that door there and then you can't get into the house just at night and stuff. But
what would I be doing in the night?
Joe, don't make me say your business on the podcast. No, so that happened to you.
I just want to ask you a real question.
Okay.
Though.
Okay.
If I came to you
and you said you need a place to stay.
Yeah.
You could stay here. I'm
That's
not kidding.
On the podcast.
I'm not kidding. I'm serious. If
I
you
don't
were
think I could stay
if you were
here.
in dire straits, yeah, I'd be like, okay. But you're going in the garage, okay?
Wow.
All right.
Well, that's reassuring. And I will say the nice thing, you were very nice. And a lot of my other friends were just so supportive. And they're like, let us know what,
Joe, I was
if we can help in any way.
I was having nightmares about you.
I was having some night problems too.
It was terrible. I was thinking about it all day. I was like, oh, Joe's upset. And I wanted to make you feel better. And I didn't want you to feel bad about yourself because it's such bullshit because you shouldn't. And then I had this terrible nightmare about you. It was just, I was really worried about you.
It's been, what has it been? Maybe a
few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was real mad and sad that first weekend. It was a long weekend. They told me on a Friday. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think at this point I am like, I'm glad to be leaving because I don't want to stay. You know, like you don't want to stay at a place if they don't appreciate your talents. And I think they always saw me as like, oh, he's doing that crazy stuff. He's doing the funny stuff.
The stuff that was the money maker. They didn't get it.
Yeah. So he's over here and we're over here. And like, I don't want to work at a place that doesn't value the best thing that I bring to the table, which is the weirdness, the funny, the I don't know what he's going to do today. Yeah. Like to me, I was like, oh, people tune in because they're like, well, what is he going to do today? But they clearly don't see it in the same way that I do. And I don't want to work for a place. So ultimately it's good. I just will feel much better when I know what my next step is going to be.
Yeah.
But it does worry me a little bit because I have enjoyed Austin, and then we have this podcast.
Yeah. So,
And if I have to,
you may have to
move
leave
somewhere,
Yeah.
it'll be
very sad.
sad.
Especially since, we're right there. We're right there.
I know we're almost going to be one of the popular new podcasts. What do they call them? New and noteworthy.
I was
we're almost
meaning
new
our
and noteworthy.
Friendship
That's
is
I
almost
just
there.
want to climb that new and noteworthy.
Yeah, but our friendship,
chart.
though, was almost at that point.
Beat
and so it'll be
NPR
sad
once and for all. Screw you, NPR.
to not make it. But
But I guess we could still be new and noteworthy.
here's what I say though: if you got to move somewhere else,
Yeah.
I support you 100% because you got to follow your dreams. You got to follow your heart. And we're podcast co-hosts, but before that, we're friends. And so,
well, not before that, but we were co-hosts first.
no, but I put it before. I put it up higher.
But not chronologically.
Not
Because chronologically, we were
yeah,
strangers,
strange,
then we were
pod-
co-hosts, and then
And then say it, Joe. Come
where
on.
we are now, which is almost
Pretty much friends.
pretty much friends.
Pretty much best friends.
So if I move away, you would follow me though? You'd move to my new
Depends on where it is.
city.
LA? Okay. You're talking
You're
my
coming to
language.
LA?
New York? Talking my language. Nebraska? And fuck no.
I have a lot of family in Nebraska.
So there's
So
a
my
lot of
life
things
has
going on with you.
changed. I've had an emotional roller coaster.
And you took a break from dating.
from dating. Mm-hmm. True.
But speaking of dating, there's something that I do want to talk about. And
right.
this
is another
gotta
thing
talk
I
about
don't
it.
necessarily want to talk about that much, but
it's so crazy to me.
it's
It
interesting.
has to be.
It's
mentioned.
interesting.
This is a little bit of podcast inception for you guys.
Okay.
And usually when we talk about your dating life or other people or anyone really on this podcast, we're pretty sure they are never going to hear it.
Yes. Well, and that's the assumption I was under. Because I don't really advertise, especially on like a dating app.
Which I've told you a million times you should do. You could have got tens of listeners from that.
Well, now I'm putting it on my resume. I'm a podcast.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
what if I got a radio job from this
you
podcast?
want a reference right here? Come on. Joe's the fucking best.
No, say it
Come
in a
on.
radio voice.
Joe's the fucking best.
But don't say fucking.
Okay.
So try it again.
Joe Barlow is the best.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm going to use that actually for something.
You can just cut it out and make it
And we'll be back with more Joe Barlow. So yeah, I don't usually advertise at all that I do a podcast, unless maybe, if someone says, "Oh, I love podcasts," or it says, or it comes up naturally.
You're inside of her and she says, "Introduce me like a guest on Comedy Bang Bang."
And I say,
And
I
you're like,
actually
"I'm about
have
to Comedy Bang Bang you."
Oh, Laura.
Okay.
So yeah, it was kind of a surprise when I did go on a date with someone, and they had said they had listened to some episodes. Specifically, I know the ex-girlfriend episode where we talked to my ex, which actually I think is great because if you
Makes
listen
you
to
look
that
good.
episode,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, I still want to go out with this person.
Yeah, but that episode makes you look great. She was like very complimentary and everything. Shout out to Molly.
But I also think it's pretty true. Like, I'm not perfect.
Yeah. Well, we all know that.
What?
Go ahead. So
we're not perfect. I'm not perfect.
yeah. You're great though, Joe, and you're wonderful. But you're everyone's
you didn't have
special
to say
and
that,
unique.
but I'm not perfect.
But you're like a snowflake, and each one is different.
Wait, what kind of snowflake?
But gone too soon.
I'm fragile.
Yeah.
I am fragile. So anyway, yeah, I go on a date.
I hate that they fucking bogarted that fucking phrase because like being a snowflake used to be that you were unique, like
And
every
beautiful.
snowflake's different, and now
Yeah.
it's like,
You're
oh,
delicate.
you mean I'm gonna cry and I'm a baby? It fucking pisses me off. They ruin everything.
I hate it.
Okay.
So I went on a date with someone, and I didn't tell her about it, but she had listened to this show, a couple episodes at least.
But this is what we need to do. We need to come up with names here for these people because this is going to be
let's
confusing.
call her. Well, there's only
Cassandra.
one person.
No, there's
it's not
two.
going to get
because
that confusing.
It is though, because we
Oh,
have to
okay.
explain.
Okay.
So Cassandra
You'll have to help me because I kind of forget all
and
the details.
Esmeralda. Those are the names I want.
Okay, so Cassandra is the one who listened to the show?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to confuse me.
And Esmeralda is the other one.
Can we have more different names?
Okay.
Cassandra
Yeah, kinda similar.
and like
And
June.
Zoe.
Cassandra and Zoe. Okay.
Okay.
So Cassandra listened to the podcast without me telling.
Yeah.
She also told me on our date, which was a great date, by the way.
Yeah.
She told
And
me.
I just want to note this for Cassandra, if she is listening. You did tell me off mic that you had gone on this great date
Yes.
with her.
Yes.
And so I do want to say that.
Okay. Yes. So Cassandra, we had this great date. It was, it was like 8 hours or something.
Yeah, you said that.
And we went our separate ways at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was long and fun. And yeah, she mentioned she also hosts her own podcast and that she listened to it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know,
Of course,
Cool.
he didn't go out and listen to her podcast.
No, I didn't. And
Typical.
could have.
Yeah. Just
Should
didn't.
have. Probably should have. Well, and that was one thing she said too, is she had looked up me,
And you didn't really care.
I didn't look
enough
up
to
her.
look.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't really look up people, but I guess I should probably.
When it's the one, you probably will be doing some looking.
Okay. So anyway, we went out great. But meanwhile, on this podcast, if you've listened to some of the episodes, I guess a few episodes back before I took my dating break.
Yeah.
So that's probably 5 episodes ago or something.
Sure. Yeah.
I mentioned that I went on a date with Zoe.
Yes.
This is fun.
Yeah.
And Zoe, I thought was the one.
Yes. See, he was very excited about Zoe. And in the course of talking about Zoe, he explained specific details about
Zoe and our
Zoe
date.
and the date.
And we record these episodes sometimes
In advance,
a
yes.
long time in
Sometimes
advance.
a long time in advance.
Some of them are more topical. So we
Right.
need to put that one in
Right.
early. And so sometimes we'll be sitting on an episode for a few weeks.
Yes.
Anyway, you might be guessing what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The episode is released. Oh, actually, I went on another date with Cassandra. So,
Cassandra.
and this was just a morning date. We just both had stuff going on. So it was a nice little morning walk, really good date also. And so, yeah, we had gone on 2 dates. And meanwhile, I had actually just ended the Zoe.
Right.
The Zoe story arc had ended in
Yeah.
real life,
Yeah.
but on the podcast, it hadn't been
hadn't.
released,
Right.
even part 1.
Right.
Because I think it was 3 episodes I talked about
Right.
Zoe. So anyway,
So
that was
Zoe
on a
came
Saturday.
first and then Cassandra.
Right. So then Saturday, that was the Saturday. We went on this great little morning date. Then Monday comes and the episode is released.
The episodes are released on Mondays, guys.
Yes, you should know that because you should subscribe.
Yep.
So Monday, the episode comes out and I'm talking about my great time with Zoe. Meanwhile, I'm not even talking to Zoe anymore because
that's dead.
turns out she didn't care for me
Yeah.
as a romantic partner.
Yes.
And I can say that now because I'm not hurt over it because again, Zoe and I went out twice.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that big of a thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the episode comes out
And Cassandra,
she's texts me that day.
But she's out on a walk, okay, guys? And she listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
And she hears about
Zoe.
this great date that Joe went on.
Oh, right.
And she thinks,
She's getting butterflies.
yeah, she thinks it's her.
Yeah.
But then he starts talking about the details of the date.
And then she goes,
she's wait a second. I didn't go to no opera.
We didn't
He just
do
took
it on
me
a
to-
Tuesday
yeah.
or whatever day of the week. And yeah,
Do it on
there,
a Tuesday.
there were details that she knew I was
So she
speaking.
knew he wasn't talking about her.
So she texts me.
So she was understandably hurt by that.
And
Totally
I
makes
actually
total
did
sense.
feel really bad.
Yeah. It would hurt anyone's feelings
Because
for sure.
if I heard something, especially, on the starting of something, and I told her this too, but anyway, she texts me that morning and she's like,
She said
"Hey,"
it was a long one though.
I forget what exactly she said. I think you should paraphrase it right now. You be her.
I don't remember. It's something to the effect of
Hey,
that
I'm
really
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah.
And, don't ever call me again. Have a nice life sort of thing.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy your new.
It's pretty much like you're a dick, go fuck yourself.
It was a little bit, but it was nicer. She was nice about it.
But that's what she meant was
Yeah.
you're a dick, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And I get
And
that.
then-
And honestly, I do understand that. And I felt bad. So I was like, hey, sorry.
Well, but first of all, I want to say this.
Okay.
In your defense.
I'd love it.
She has a podcast, okay?
Yeah.
So she knows these things aren't live to tape, okay?
Right. We didn't record that Monday morning or Sunday night even.
So she should know to ask first before lashing out in anger.
True.
Okay. The first thing is you ask. Number one. The second thing is you two were not an exclusive item. You had been on two dates.
True.
That is that's a possessive level of shit that did not need to be happening. Okay.
Okay.
So I see it from her perspective, but I also see it from yours. I think that is just way too fast, way too serious, way too aggressive for such a short relationship, because
True.
I would expect dating someone after only 2 dates that they were probably dating other people as well.
Yeah. Right.
So,
and that's fair. So yeah, I do think those things are fair. And I get, especially if you're blindsided, you wouldn't expect to hear me talking about a date, and then you're like, oh, he's talking about my date. Ooh, I'm excited. And then the whiplash of like, oh, he's talking about someone else.
Yeah.
That hurts. And so yeah, I assume she probably sent that message like immediately.
Spot,
She's just like, oh no.
Right.
And then she sent it. And then I was like, hey, sorry.
And you
had
explained.
and I was sorry. And I said I was sorry.
Yeah.
Because that's not cool. But also, yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so yeah, I had met her. And also, by the way, like, we're not even talking anymore. Like,
so then she felt bad for being
jumping
so
to
aggressive,
conclusions.
right?
Yeah.
And I think she called you, right? And to apologize.
Well, she texted a few times and I didn't really respond. And then she called and left a message. And then I did respond. And
so then you kind of left it.
Honestly, I just felt really weird and awkward and uncomfortable about the situation, because I did feel for her. And I was also just like, I don't want to talk about dating on the podcast anymore now. But I also think I knew,
but I
can't remember the timeline, but I also think like I knew more episodes were going to come out about it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, that was only number one. And I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm going to talk about her 2 more times. So like brace yourself. So I was like, I just didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I kind of didn't really talk to her, but then I did. Once she called me, I was like, okay, I guess I need to like actually address this.
I think it's good that this happened though, because you got to maybe get a dose of what the future may hold. And so I think it was a good, like,
what do you mean the future?
If you dated her a lot, like long term.
Oh, maybe. You think I should rekindle this?
No, I was saying the opposite.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway, you landed on being friends.
Yeah, and also, well, that's why listeners to this show know that I said I went on a break,
and that's
after
kind of
this
why.
Zoe scenario. And that was it was part of it, but also, listeners to this podcast also know I went on a lot of first dates, and I was just kind of getting annoyed with like the whole process. So,
and he only has room for one special lady in his life, and that's
Oprah Winfrey.
So, so they
kind of thought friends. That was the end of it.
That's what I thought
then
too. This was weird enough.
And then finally, I think all of the episodes where we talked about Zoe came out.
And I think that probably lit the fire a little bit more.
Right. Because she's like, oh, he was kind of
dating at the same time.
Maybe there's proof that he was sort of telling the truth because he had ended this, or, the Zoe thing ended.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
Well, this is where the Inception begins.
Because I already think that's kind of a funny little story.
This is such a...
But this gets more exciting.
Like, millennial scenario. Like, this is just typical.
This couldn't happen any other time. Yeah. Remember, she has a podcast.
Yeah, and I don't think she had released a lot of episodes recently, but she did release a new one. And this guy sitting here to my right was one of the stars.
Well... Yeah, so her episode was about her dating life. And so she chronicled, I think there were 3 gentlemen that she talked about in the recent...
Now, legally,
yeah,
could I play a clip of this podcast?
Let's not.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay.
Because, I don't want to go there.
Okay.
But let's describe the podcast. Okay. So it was it was very honest. Oh, she was reading like journal entries. So it was very personal.
And Joe had a assumed name in it, which was
all the guys she gave us fake names. So
yours was what? John?
It was John, which is my brother's name, which
and
is
my husband's name.
Yes.
So a lot of connections.
A lot of strangeness. So yeah, and then she read her journal entries
and
our text messages.
She read their text messages, guys.
You know what? For me, it was strange listening to it because also,
It was strange
I found
for me
it
listening to it too. Okay, because I was worried she was going to say something that would
about,
make me feel uncomfortable, but just looking at you
like
or
his
something.
lips were as soft
or
as,
his dick was so thin. I'd never seen such a thin, skinny dick.
When it turned sideways, it disappeared. No, she didn't say that.
Yeah.
But I will say too, I found the podcast because
But girl, Cassandra, hit me up and tell me about that skinny dick when you get a chance.
What if she released a new episode?
@gmail.com. She's like, the thinness of his dick.
Thin, wispy dick. So I found it because I follow her on Instagram still, and she posted like something. It was like a picture, and it was like, "Oh, check out my new episode," and blah blah blah. And it said it was about dating, and I was like, "She wouldn't talk about me."
She didn't.
So I did listen to it because I was just kind of like curious, and then she got to John, and she described me as like Stephen Colbert, but not in the looks, not in the way I look,
right.
Which I thought was
That's
pretty
a compliment.
good.
Very generous.
But it hurt a little bit because she was talking about like one of the guys, Sebastian. He was ruggedly handsome, and he just,
She's like, Joe, he's funny.
And like Joe, I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
But then the episode, I think, turned out to be mostly about me, my character of Stephen Colbert, John.
Well, you're the most hurtful kind because you seem really sweet and nice, and you don't expect it from the nice, funny guy.
I didn't do anything wrong.
You don't expect it from the nice, funny guy.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I know. You didn't. You didn't.
No, but it was interesting to hear her perspective of things, because like I said, I go on a lot of first dates.
She's probably going to listen to this, so it's really hard for me to be honest about what I think because I love women and I am a girl's girl and it's girl power and I never want to take another woman down. It's the last thing I want to do. But
well, good. You can just end the sentence right there.
I have to say this because as your friend, the things she was saying did worry me a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think she was a little bit over involved with you, like over. She was hearing wedding bells almost. It seemed like she was very involved in it, and it was apparent to an outsider that this wasn't that serious, as serious as she was making it out to me. So it made me feel a little worried for you, just that maybe you're getting in deep with something that may turn into a rabbit in the microwave or on the stove type situation.
Interesting. I don't even know what exactly you're referring to. Okay. But I do think it's interesting because, her and I had the same experience together. You know what I mean? But we can both see it from a completely, well, I guess not completely different, but we definitely see it slightly differently, I think. So it was interesting to hear the details from someone who, we go on a couple dates and then you actually hear like, oh, you do have an effect on people's lives because you don't always think about that. You're
and
just
listen,
like, oh.
In her defense, I've been that person that's looking at my phone, waiting for a text message and hoping that they would call me and not, and the feeling of when they don't and it hurts and all that stuff. We've all been there.
Well, I was fresh off of that with my Zoe.
Yeah.
Experience.
And I have to say, the fact that she was that honest about it is very brave because there's no way in hell I'd let some fucking man know what I was thinking about them.
It's hard when
we've all done it.
Yeah,
we've all done. You've done it.
I literally did
it. Yeah,
with Zoe before her.
Well, you didn't do it with Zoe, but
no, would have loved to.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating. So I will be curious if there will be any new developments for this because maybe she will listen to this episode and then have a reaction.
Yeah, well, she's not going to like me after this one. I'm sorry, Cassandra.
I think she said you were funny, though.
She's not going to think I'm funny anymore. Listen, we don't know each other, so everything I'm saying is just from a outsider looking in, I'm not here to judge.
Well, and you've essentially heard my side of the story.
Yeah, I haven't really heard.
Well, and you've heard her podcast, so I guess you've heard a little of her side.
Yeah, but
still
you
alone.
never know though what may happen in the future.
Well,
You may-
as our
a
friend
year may go
Saul
by.
Ravencraft once
That's
said,
true.
he said, I can see it into the future.
Yeah. Guys.
Well, is that it? I mean,
I think
feel
we've
like
told the story.
I feel like
but-
I'm empty inside now. I
You
got
feel
no job.
worse about
I
it?
got no woman.
But you got me. After talking to me now, closer, further, bop, bop, bop. Is it farther or further? Because we say it every week.
I think
and
you
I'm
could
not
say
sure.
either
No,
or
that's
either.
not correct. Go ahead.
So-
tell me how close we are.
Anyway, well, you definitely know so many intimate details about my life, and I do
do.
share things with you.
Yeah.
So I think that means something. You know, our good friend Saul Ravencraft said that I
You'll share
leave people
things.
on the porch, and they may not even know they're on my little porch. But you know what? I think you're inside the.
I do too.
I think you're in the screen house or the screen door. You're in the screen door.
No, I'm in the living room, baby. Actually, I'm sitting in the tub. You're sitting on the toilet.
No.
I'm smoking a cig.
No
You're
one's
eating a
ever been in
donut.
the tub while I'm on the toilet.
But that's what's happening right now. I'm in the
I'm
tub.
telling you, no.
Smoking a cig. I got the newspaper on standby. You're sitting on the toilet eating a donut.
Maybe in your
And
universe.
reading some
Not
Facebook
in
news
my-
article to me.
not in my
And we're laughing
universe,
and
no.
laughing, and I splash you, and then you splash me with some other guy.
What the hell?
Oh, this fantasy of mine.
Yeah. See, no, that's not
You
where
got. That's why you got to read my journals.
you're. Maybe. Oh, you're in the mud room.
Okay.
That's where you are. That's
Okay.
where you belong.
I do. I'm a dirty girl. I belong in that mud room.
So,
Guys,
Good.
I feel closer to you.
I know you do. You want me in your bathtub or something?
No, I want to be in the bathtub with you on the toilet. How are
Okay.
you not getting this?
No, I
It's a
remember
very vivid fantasy. Guys, thank you so much for listening. And Cassandra,
Zoe.
no, fuck Zoe.
Oh.
I'm just over her. I don't even give a fuck about her. I think Cassandra's better than her. Cassandra has depth. Zoe's like, oh, I'm a fun girl. I'm cool. I'm a fun, cool girl.
You don't even
if you're
know
so
about
fun
Zoe.
and cool, Zoe, then why aren't you with Joe? Because you just missed out
That's
on
true.
such a fun guy, and it's your loss.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a job.
Yeah, how could you kick a guy when he's down like that? At least just a pity lay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, do you think I could work that angle?
I really do. I definitely do. But do it before this podcast come out so that people don't know. I'm not saying all my full words.
Come out though.
I'm not. Multiple times I've said the wrong word. I've
Yeah.
noticed, but I didn't go back and correct myself. So
Okay.
it's happening.
Anyway, thanks for listening to this week's episode. Please tell all your friends about my resume.
Yes, please do. And Cassandra, I do think we could be friends, and just, I'm sorry if I offended you. It's just for laughs. This is all for laughs.
This is all for fun, and it is for my resume now. I'm going to
Yeah.
put it at the top.
You need to do a little reel of all our highlights.
I have a reel for TV, but not for this show.
Yeah, see?
Well, I consider each episode a reel.
Yeah.
there's
A
so
real
many-
good time.
That's going to end the reel.
We'll
Please
see you
hire
guys,
me. Please
soon.
hire me.
There aren't enough podcasts. That's what I always say.
Yeah, because it's
More. There's no competition.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to even find someone to date who has a podcast.
What?
It's like impossible.
Everyone has a podcast.
Yeah.
And yet, no one listens to them.